welcome back to another episode of the Critics Collective. I'm Legacy Lingo. This is my beautiful fiance, Jessica. And we are being honored with our special guests, Lolo and Big J. How you guys doing today?
Doing good.
It's like, we just saw you in the last review. What are you talking about? Yeah.
Long time no see.
Long time no see.
Hello again.
Yes, hello again. All right. So we are going to dive into another Christmas rom-com. This one is called Our Little Secret. But before we do get into that review, I just want to make sure everybody knows, if you enjoy our reviews on all things media, make sure you please give this video a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the alert button. Join the collective community. Every little push helps the channel grow so we can continue to give you guys the content that we love to give you. Now, Our Little Secret is available now on Netflix. It is a 2024 film. The IMDB synopsis reads, two resentful exes must awkwardly spend Christmas together after they learn that their new partners are siblings. It's not as, yeah, okay. All right. There. I don't know why I do this to myself, but it's kind of fun, the shot in the dark with IMDb and some of their synopsis being on point, and some of them is kind of like, I don't know if you really truly hit the mark, but yeah, we'll just leave that there. All right, so let's go ahead and start with the initial impressions. Jessica, I'll start with you. How did you feel? What was your initial impression when you came across this movie?
It is no secret that I love holiday movies, so I was looking forward to it. I like Lindsay Lohan, usually enjoy her movies. I'm a big fan of Kristin Chenoweth, so I was super excited to see them together. I will say, when I saw Ian Harding, aka Ezra Fitz, I still felt the ick and immediately was like, bah humbug. I know what your secrets are, Ezra, but I'm still gonna watch this movie.
I know what your secrets are. Okay.
I do.
All right. And you still watched it.
I did. I had to.
Yeah. And here we are. All right, Big J, initial impressions, or what did you feel when you first came across this?
Good, cheesy, hoping it'd be a good Christmas movie. I actually liked Lindsay Lohan's previous Netflix movie, like her previous Netflix Christmas movie, The Falling for Christmas. I actually kind of enjoyed that one. So I was hoping this one would be along those lines, or at least right on par with that. And, I lost my train of thought on that. Sometimes that happens. I was hoping it would be on par with Falling for Christmas. We didn't see the Irish one previously, and I'm actually kind of hoping, enjoying Lindsay Lohan's comeback from her troubled past and getting back into the game. So I'm glad to see her back in the game.
Okay, yeah, that makes total sense. Definitely, it's good to see her doing positive things. Lolo, how did you feel? Initial impression when you first came across this?
I'm also here for the Lohanisance. I too liked Falling for Christmas. I thought that I was shocked that she was as good as she was in that movie and that it was as successful as it was. And I thought, well, if Netflix did it once, maybe they can do it again. And maybe they'll do it again next year. Maybe we'll just be getting Lindsay Lohan Christmas movies until we all collapse and die. Who knows? I was excited, but also apprehensive about Ezra Fitz being in this as well. Like Jessica said, I too watched Pretty Little Liars. His secrets are not great. So what other secrets is he going to have this year? Let's find out.
Mm-hmm. He did some damage.
In Pretty Little Liars.
I mean, it works. Pretty Little Liars, Our Little Secret. I get it.
We don't want any of them.
No. Get away.
For me, when I first came across this, I just come off the heels of the movie that we just reviewed. So if you guys are watching this, please go watch that review for The Merry Gentleman. So I was highly optimistic just from the clips and the imagery I was seeing. I was like, oh, something with greater production value. Let's do this. And I was optimistic. I was like, let's go. I was hoping, my initial impression was like, please be the savior that I need from what I just got done watching. That was my thoughts. All right. So Lolo, I want to start with you with your highs and lows. Feel free to start with either your lows or your highs, but let us know how you felt about this movie.
Okay, I think I may have done a disservice to this film. It's, it is what it is. It is cheesy. It does have its moments, but I think I did a massive disservice by watching while you were sleeping for the first time the night before that we watched this. And
Oh,
you can't fake chemistry like Sandra Bullock and Bill Pullman. So to go from them to Lindsay Lohan and Ezra Fitz, Ian, whatever his last name is. It's a poor substitute, honestly. They looked like they weren't even friends, let alone lovers. This is a friends to enemies to lovers, and then potentially a second chance romance, which is my cup of tea, very much my cup of tea. And I just think that they missed the mark when it comes to the chemistry between these two. Lindsay Lohan's fine on her own, but Ezra Fitz still clearly has no qualms dating much younger women. I'll say that much. He hasn't learned anything from his Pretty Little Liar days. Of course, he is not his character, but I digress. The one thing I will say about this movie is we thought there was something wrong with our television set while we were watching it because this movie is so yellow. I have often complained about there being no lighting whatsoever. People need to go back to lighting school. Like, movies are just dark now. There's no color. Everything's oversaturated. You can't see anything in the dark. But this movie is oddly jaundice yellow. Almost like the meme where they're like, oh, have a movie set in Mexico or the Middle East and it's a sepia tone. It was like that, but actually genuinely like jaundice skin colored yellow at times. It was very off-putting. But overall, there is a little bit of heart there. There are a couple of laughs, minus the chemistry element. I think it's not as bad as The Merry Gentleman, but still not good enough for me to incorporate into our yearly watching routine.
I got you. Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. How about you, Big J? Well, how you feeling? Highs and lows?
Like Lolo, I got to say that, yeah, I agree. Lindsay Lohan and Ian Harding had no chemistry. You're supposed to believe them as lifelong friends, like they'd known each other since childhood. They were in a long-term relationship with each other, and you just don't really buy it. They don't have that kind of chemistry and that banter going back and forth between each other when they talk. So that's kind of a low point on it. It's also a weird thing going on with Kristin Chenoweth's character. She seems to be romantically attracted to her daughter's boyfriend, to the Logan character. I don't know. She doing things that are like a little eyebrow raising. And their characters, a lot of that whole family is kind of nasty in this movie. In many ways, they come off very bad. They're not likable people. There is, I'll say, a high point. There is some laughs in this. There's some genuine laughs, especially from Lindsay Lohan. She has some moments with weed and some fallout with the weed, and there's a moment with a dog that's very funny that I genuinely laughed at. So it has its moments. It does have the heart. It's predictable, like every single Christmas movie. Like you said, it's enemies to lovers, or lovers to enemies to lovers type second chance romance. That whole family, that their current partners are so vapid and so self-absorbed that it's like, oh, why are you even with these people? The boyfriend's mother hates her and overly loves her daughter's boyfriend. It's stuff like that. And she has the weird other son who's just sociopathic. But it's one of those, it has its moments, but it's just like, I'm not really feeling the romance. And it has a few Christmas cheer. You kind of know what it's going with. And it ends off good. There's a little bit between her dad. Her dad comes in a couple times, and I like the guy who plays her dad in this, and he does a good job in the brief times he's on screen. Tim Meadows is in here. I like Tim Meadows, but he's only in here really briefly. I wish he had a little bit more to do. But other than that, it's it's not good, but I wouldn't say it's the worst thing I've ever seen.
No, yeah. You guys, you're touching on all the notes. I'm just over here just crossing off stuff like, well, I'm not going to say that. Well, I'm not going to say that. Well, I'm not going to say that. But I love it.
Don't let me talk free reign.
I'm just going to piggyback.
Right. But I love it. You guys are touching on all the points. All right, Jessica, Let's have it. Your highs and lows.
I know, very, very similar vibe for me over here. So highs, the church scene was one of the funnier moments for me. I feel like they could have leaned into it even more, and I was kind of hoping that they would because it had potential to be even funnier. But that was one of the high for me. No pun intended with the high. And then I felt like, Lindsay Lohan, I think she did a pretty good job. And same with Kristin Chenoweth. I mean, with what they had to work with, they did a pretty good job. I think Logan's grandma, I think there were a couple little moments there that were funny. Big shout out to Veronica the dog. Definitely an adorable, scene stealer. I was very, very excited. The dog did great.
The dog did great.
But I think I went into this after watching Merry Gentlemen and I was like, oh, this is so much better. But then after I thought about it for a minute, I was like, is it really that great? So it's kind of, leading me into my Lindsay lows. So Logan was the biggest low for me, Ian Harding's character. We weren't even 5 minutes into the movie, and I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, so toxic, so manipulative. I don't know what this running theme is. I'm not here for it. It was gross. I couldn't root for him the entire movie. They made attempts to try to make him, redeem himself, but it was hollow, very empty. Not enough accountability was taken, and it just wasn't enough for me to be like, yeah, here you go. And then, you guys already touched on this with the chemistry. None of the couples I didn't feel had any chemistry. I'm like, none of you would be together. Overall, just missed all that Christmas magic that I was hoping for. Kristin and Lindsay, I don't think could save Christmas and couldn't save this movie. That's my low.
Oh. Well, yes, I'm with you on that one. For me, everything you guys said, and I'm just going to piggyback just a little bit on some things, but the high for me, which hasn't been said, was that I actually did love the fact that the title of the film was not specific to our lead characters. There were multiple people in this movie that had a little secret, and almost every time we got a secret, I was like, "Oh, they got a secret. Oh, there's another secret." Like, and so the title started becoming more fun to me because the secret between our two leads wasn't that big of a deal. I didn't even see the point. I mean, I understood the nervousness of maybe keeping that secret because of you're worried about the reaction, but I just felt like the depths that they went to keep that secret, I was like, this is not that big of a deal. But there were other secrets that were popping up that were definitely worth. Like, oh, okay. So the title, that I like that aspect of it. I did laugh out loud a few times. Like she mentioned, the grandmother, the character of the boyfriend, hilarious. The dog definitely played a great scene. And the mother of the siblings with the lighting, I felt like there was a lot coming off, and I thought they just really wanted like that spray tan effect to hit everybody, and maybe it was just the way they lit the whole thing, but I was always getting just that glow, and I was like, man, that spray tan is popping, but it could have just been like just the way they lit it as well,
like a shiny Christmas tree star.
Oh, maybe they wanted to give like a halo effect off of everybody's face.
That's how everyone here in Atlanta looks.
Oh yeah,
we've all got that magical yellow glow.
That's exactly what was happening. But the movie itself, after everything, the chemistry, everything you said, the biggest problem I have is what she mentioned. There's a point in the movie where they established that Lindsay Lohan's character was actually running from her life and handling her grief a certain way. But they didn't establish that until later. So in the beginning, when they had the situation they had when the boyfriend says what he says, I'm mortified. Like, what the hell? And I spend the whole movie just like really waiting for him to have to crawl, to really do the big gesture to get back. And then they just end up flipping it, whereas like they kind of try to justify by her confirming that she was running. But in my opinion, you can't tell somebody how to grieve. You know, it's not like the situation she was going through was like 30, 40 years ago. And even if it was, you can't tell somebody how to grieve or how long to grieve. And I felt like, and this surprised me, a woman actually wrote this one. I felt like there should have been more of an effort of him offering other options instead of just acting the way he did, because I don't want to spoil. But I felt like there was at least 2 options that he didn't offer to try and keep things going. And I felt like he also didn't have to work hard to get back into good grace. What ended up happening was that other characters had to do the big gesture and overcome a character flaw. And I'm like, what about the biggest flaw of all? You guys are just overlooking that. So I've spoiled a lot. I didn't mean to, but anyway, it bothered me so much that I just could not. I can never get into it. The whole time I was like, you know, if I don't get this moment, I am going to trash this movie. But anyway, let's go ahead and rate this.
He did. It was like every 5 minutes he would look over and be like, he better.
He better.
Are you?
Yeah.
Are we going to get it now?
Yeah. It was very much distracted. Couldn't get into the movie at all because of that. So, in Critics Collective fashion, we are going to rate this with our accolade system. And I will go over that with you guys. Let me pull up everything here. The Critics Collective accolade, we have 5 accolades, 5 being excellent, a must-watch, highly recommended for all viewers. 4 accolades, good, worth watching, but has notable flaws. 3 accolades, average, some enjoyable moments, but lack significant impact. 2 accolades, below average, some redeeming qualities, but generally disappointing. 1 accolade, poor quality, not recommended, and 0 accolades, horrible, absolute trash, which we can thank Venom for that. All right. I will never stop saying it unless something else gets a 0 from me. I hated that movie so much. All right. So, Big J, let's start with you. Where are you at with how many accolades?
This kind of live action Simpsons Christmas gets 2 accolades.
That's actually a very, very good comparison right there. I love that. So 2 accolades from Big J. Lolo, how about you? How many accolades are you giving it?
I'm also going to go with 2 accolades. I think there is a little bit of redeeming stuff here and a little bit of Christmas cheer here and there. You know, it's not a bad way to spend an hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
All right. How about you, Jessica? How many accolades?
You know, I'm going to go ahead and give it 2 as well. I did enjoy, a few moments. It kind of fell short of that holiday magic. I'm still extremely angry at Ezra Fitz, but overall, I would say 2 because I did enjoy a couple things.
Yes, I'm going to have to give it 2 as well. I was close to giving it a 3, but the things that kept me distracted, I couldn't stay in the moment, even though there was some funny things. And I did like the way certain things buttoned up towards the end. Certain people ended up with certain people, but there was a lot in between that just needed a lot of work. It needed a lot of work. Mm-hmm. And then the fact that a woman wrote it and she allowed that man to be as disgusting as he was and then get away with it. It really bothered me. So 2 accolades for me as well. 2 accolades. But I am hoping that Lindsay Lohan will continue in this direction and will give us better holiday, and not just holiday. I just hope we can just get more from Lindsay Lohan, because it was good to see her doing well. It was good to see her doing well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. So if you guys like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and the alert button, join the collective community, and make sure you share this video to keep the conversation going. Let us know in the comments how many accolades you would give it. What's your favorite Lindsay Lohan holiday movie or Lindsay Lohan movie altogether? And we will be in the comments to have it out with you and talk it through. All right. So I want to thank you guys for joining us for another Critics Collective. This was Our Little Secret, which you can find on Netflix. I'm Legacy Lingos, my beautiful fiance, Jessica. We have Lolo and Big J, and we will see you guys on the next one.